What's going on, guys? MC here from Plays of America, and first I want to apologize for my raspy voice. I'm pretty sick today, so I skipped out on my last couple classes. I was going to go running, all that jazz, but now I am at my house playing video games, making videos for you guys. But yeah, what I have to show you today is an offensive concept I came up with a few days ago. You see, it's out of these three formations right here: the normal wing tight end, and the normal Y flex tight. Basically what this does is it gives you 13 plays at your disposal to choose from, and so when you read someone's defense when you come out, you can make that adjustment, and you can choose from a vast majority of plays. And if you look here, you have three formations. They all look very similar. On the play selection screen, they look like they differ a lot more than they will on the field. So when you come out in them, they will look virtually the same to your opponent each time. And we have four plays in each formation, 5 in this one, because this is the formation we come out in, so you have that extra play that's not an audible. And just a quick overview of the plays. We have the jet sweep, the play action jet sweep, the midline read option, inside zone read option, and the wide receiver corners, which is the play we come out in. And the reason why I picked this play to come out in is not because it's the best, but because it's actually the play I would most, I don't know, I wouldn't miss it if it weren't audible. So say I'm in like the trips over or something, and I see the defense is in something, and I want to switch to a play in one of these formations. Wide receiver corners is most likely a play that I would choose the least, if at all. So that's why we come out in that play. This wing tight end has our two running plays, our two best running plays, with the halfback off tackle to the left, halfback counter to the right, strong flood, and the flanker screen, which we turn into a halfback screen. And this third formation, I put it third on the list because I use the plays in here the least, but they still are effective. I like to switch it up with these plays. The halfback draw, play action deep outs, halfback slip screen, and smash corners. And as you can see, I put all three of them right next to each other, so when you are doing this scheme, you know, it's just one button over, two buttons over, all of that, and it just makes it simple. Like I said, I put the formation I use the least third. This is my running formation, and this is the formation I come out in. And so I'm going to do everything from the audible, since that's what this scheme is based off of. And I'm going to go over the play action jet sweep, the jet sweep, and then the running plays, and then I'm going to go through the rest of the plays you can run. And so I just came out in a two-man under, and I'd like to say towards the end of the video I'm going to be running against random defenses, so you can see the thought process involved in selecting a play, depending on what the defense looks like. And so you see right here we're in our wide receiver corners. I'm just going to show you the jet sweep real quick. So you see you have the slot receiver. I suggest putting your fastest guy, Graham. He's like at 99 speed, 98 acceleration or something like that. When you see the defense in a setup like this, this is not necessarily one you'd want to run against. The reason being, the slot corner is right here. Now there's a chance that he gets picked up. I mean, you can still get a decent gain off of this. We're just going to run it real quick against this, and then I'm going to show you a better look that you can run against. So it's basically as the picture shows you, and well, I got around the edge and got a touchdown, but that's probably not going to happen every time, especially if they're like in a zone of some sort. So say they have like a formation where, you know, they just have like the right edge completely opened up, pretty much, and I don't know, you see it's opened up, so you just run the jet sweep. This is more of a look that you would run it against, touchdown, all that jazz. But jet sweep is something I'd run maybe 1 to 2 times a game, and it's really a play that is in there to complement the play action jet sweep, which is this one, obviously. So what I like to do with this setup, there's 2 different setups I do, but there's one main one. and I like to fade the tight end streak circle, put R1 the halfback on a wheel route, and then drag square. And I'm going to start off by saying, run this only against zone. You can run it against man, but your success rate is going to be very low against man coverage, so if you know for a fact they're coming out in man, do not run this play. It's as simple as that. But with that said, I'm going to run it against man real quick just to show you what it looks like. And sometimes you might be able to sneak some of these passes in here. You see the halfback was open on the flats. There's also this route by the tight end that sometimes if you do it right and he gets the right angle or the right separation on his guy, you can sometimes throw it in there. See, that's just, like I said, you can't really run this play against man coverage. So, I mean, if you look at the other routes, they're most likely going to be covered up, except maybe that halfback that we dumped off to. So see, tight end looked like he was open, threw it, intercepted. Circles covered, the drag's covered, basically just that halfback, and I wouldn't count on that to be open all the time. You can put the tight end on a slant to the left, but I've found that it's usually like a 50-50 chance of him getting opening into his man as well with the stock route. But what I really like to do is run this against zone coverage. Here we have a cover 3. This is really effective against zones. You just have so many options that come open. You see, you run forward a little bit, you suck the flat guy down. See, there's going to be a lot of people open on this play. We'll just go ahead and look. So let's see the tight end. The tight end eventually, that safety drops with him, so the tight end isn't really open. You have square coming on the underneath the drag. R1 is open. But another interesting thing about this is let's see if the flat guy does what we want him to. Is if that flat guy is not really creeping up on your quarterback, we'll just go ahead and put him in a purple just to make sure, because a lot of people play purples rather than flats this year. If he kind of drops with them, you can just run up the field and you just have extra blockers. So you see this is pretty wide open. Don't run into your blocker though, because I mean that kind of sucks. But I mean you can get that edge sealed, and then maybe they wrong play. Maybe they leave it in that. Maybe let's just go with like a cover 2 here. It's all about just making your reads really. You see he came over open over cover 2. Just see if people are dropping back with him, and yeah, it's hard to stop this play. I mean, unless you're running against man coverage, of course, like I showed you before. It's pretty difficult to stop this play because they have to account for a running quarterback, receivers downfield. That time he did a pretty good job. But what I want to show you on this last play that just happened is if you come close enough to the line of scrimmage, don't do this every time because it's risky, you will actually draw the defender down. So see the guy who's covering the flat, he actually comes for the quarterback, and I should have darted that pass in there rather than lobbed it, but anyway, as you can see, the closer you come to the line of scrimmage, the more likely they are to abandon their assignment. And yeah, so that's basically the play action jet sweep. It's all about reading the defense, reading zones, all that. And I'm going to go ahead and just go over the last 2 plays in this original formation. It's the inside zone read option and the midline read option. Inside zone is basically what it's your basic read option. What I like to do is to keep it consistent with the jet sweep and the jet sweep, the play action jet sweep. I always motion the slot receiver. If it's a running play, I usually go just outside the left tackle. If it's a passing play, I usually do like 1 to 1.5 steps, or you can do 1 to 1.5 steps with running plays just to keep it consistent if you're just staying in this scheme all game. So you know how to run the read option, just read it. The tight or the defensive end didn't stand up, so you just keep it with your quarterback. And this midline read option, it's different than all the other read options, and I actually prefer this over the halfback draw. You see, instead of the defensive end being the read option guy, it's the defensive tackle. This is something I would run if they had the middle like wide open like that. That guy's on a blitz. I'm just gonna like put him in yellow just for the sake of showing you how this works. Now this one is a little trickier just because it's not that it's so hard to read if it's standing up or not, but I've caught myself a few times waiting too long to press X on this if he does stand up. But let's see. See, he stands up and then he just takes himself out of the play. I mean, this is a huge reason why I have this in the rotation, why I like it better than the halfback draw. You see the defensive tackle, he stands up to attack the quarterback. You hand it off, and the running back, you can just go right by him. He takes himself out of the play, leaves the middle wide open. And like I said, this is especially effective if they're in a defense where they just leave the middle open. I'm just going to leave that guy on that blitz now. And let's see if we can get an animation where the quarterback keeps it. Nope. If he gives you the if he goes straight for the running back and you keep it with your quarterback, it's basically the same effect. It's just you're running up the middle with your quarterback. So let's try to. Nope, he didn't. Well, I mean, it's pretty difficult to get the defense to react how you want when you're showing in practice like a read option, but you basically get it just for the sake of it. No matter if the defensive tackle, no matter if he bites or not, I'm just not going to hand off, just to show you what the QB's cut kind of looks like. And I picked the wrong play. I forgot to audible. Okay, the midline read option. You're gonna do that. Okay, so when you see I don't hand off, the quarterback kind of takes a straight cut up the middle. I just wish the defensive tackle would give us like a look that, you know, just so I can show you guys an example of it. But yeah, that's basically just read the tackle. But it looks like he's just being a stingy turd right now. You get the point. You know how to run read options. It's just reading the D tackle instead of the D end. I will go over the wide receiver corner at the very end because I feel like it's the least important. Our next two running plays, we have the halfback off tackle, and just a setup like this is one that could work with it. It all depends on how well your guys block. It can be anywhere from, I mean, anything gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage, but it seems like I get anywhere from like a 5-yard gain to just like busting off really long touchdowns. Like I said, it's all about your blockers reading your holes. This, if they have something strong on the left side, I would most likely not run it against this. This is where I would go and do something like the halfback counter. You see the right side of the field is not necessarily like wide open, but it's got a lot of running room. And the thing I like about this counter versus most is I don't know if it's the alignment of the tight end or what, but it just seems like they really do a great job of picking up defenders. Here I'm going to show you with that one setup I was talking about with the jet sweep. So on most counters, the defense ends just sitting there ready to just like nail the halfback. Most of the time the left guard doesn't get to him. But this time it's like the tight end goes in, takes away the gap, and the guard gets there in time, and it's just a lot better than most. I don't know what I was thinking I was doing there. it's just a lot better than most halfback counters. And I'm really not sure if it's because of the way the tight end is set up relative to the line of scrimmage or not. I'll just show you real quick. And depending on the way the defense is set up, depends on where the tight end goes. So, yeah, you see the tight end goes straight there. He actually didn't do anything on that play, but the tackle goes up the field, takes the next level guy, and the guard picks up that end. And that's all you really need to just seal it off. This is probably my favorite counter play in the game this year. I'll go ahead and the flanker screen is another play that it's best against zone coverage. I'll run against man in a second, but zone coverage, if you know they're in zone or they have the right side of the field pretty open, this is the setup I like to do. Put square on a curl, triangle on a zig, R1 on the swing route, and circle on a streak. And basically, if they're in zone coverage, you're just going to have a lot of blockers out there. Hopefully your blockers do their job. But yeah, that's basically that. With man coverage, it's not, my bad, it's not necessarily the best play against man coverage. If they do have man coverage, your first read is going to be triangle. You're just going to do like a step and a half and throw an outside lead. Hopefully he catches it and he's not a turd. You also have the curl against man coverage. It's a lot more effective whenever they're backed off rather than press. We're just going to run against press just to show you the effects that press has. And this is why I don't really like running against man coverage, because you essentially only have that slot zig open, and that's only if he gets outside separation. If they shade outside or he doesn't get separation at all, you're just kind of screwed against man coverage. You can force it to the halfback, but it's not going to be as effective as it would be against zone. But here we see they're in press man coverage. He gets jammed at the line, and there's two issues with this that I have. One, it's still a screen play, so if you look at the line of scrimmage, the defensive end's coming in, and you don't have a lot of time. So you're still waiting for the route to develop, and you just have to throw it. I mean, I always throw it before they turn around, but still, it's risky waiting for that time, especially if someone has one of the top-rated defensive ends or linebackers coming after you. It's just a mess. So that's why I don't like it in man coverage. Man, I keep doing the wrong play. And so, I mean, like I said, you can force it to the halfback. I'll just show you that right here. It's man coverage. The reason why I don't like doing that is because there is a guy actually following the halfback, and more often than not, he does not get picked up by the blockers. So you see that linebacker, so that linebacker's following him, and there's also a guy kind of following this tight end that's blocking. So you have two people actually following out there, and luckily the guy covering the halfback gets picked up, but it's just not as big of a gain. So like I said, against zone coverage, especially if the left side or the right side of the field is more wide open than the left, let's say like a purple zone, then that is when I would definitely run this. So 1.5 step, boom, you see it zone, hit the halfback, and a lot of times you can get a lot of big gains off that. The other play in here, I'll just go over the passing plays last. Here you have the halfback draw. There's not much to go over. This I would only throw in there if you're playing against someone who's dropping like 9, 10, sometimes even 11 people in coverage, believe it or not. But that's when I'd throw this in here. I don't know what it is. I'm just not a huge fan of the draws this year. I mean, I guess I just scored a touchdown, but I don't know. I mean, they're still pretty effective. I'm just more of a I like the dives a lot more than the draws for some reason. This is the first year, but yeah, that's just something you throw in there if they're dropping a lot into coverage. And this halfback slip screen, the setup I do for this every time is you do that zig with the slot, square with the square with the curl. We're gonna slant the tight end. Excuse me. Slant the tight end to get to attract defenders away from the screen side, and then we're just going to streak circle, and this is against man coverage. I'm not going to show you on the left side because it's the same, but that's going to be your read is against man coverage, the zig and the curl. You can also look for the tight end, and if you need to, throw it to the halfback. You see the defensive tackle read that pretty well. But this is another play that's great against zone. This play, you don't necessarily need to wait for the right side of the field to be open. It's just if you know they're in zone, just run it. So, boom, boom, and just follow your blockers, make your reads with the holes they're setting up, and I mean that's basically how you run a halfback slip screen. These play action deep outs, I mean, of course the play action kind of gives them the idea that we're still running, but I also like it for these deep outs because they're just very hard to defend. The past couple years in Madden, man coverage has been torched by these deep outs, and so that is one of the main reasons why I picked this play. And then the fact that it is the fact that it's a play action is just an added bonus. So you see on the left side we have the same effect with square, and yeah. I don't have a specific setup for this, but you could do something like so play action deep outs. You could do something like maybe put X on a zig, or put them on a fade, square on a drag to attack zones or something. I mean, we can go ahead and see what this looks like in zone coverage. Maybe streak triangle, and then triangle's pretty open against zone because of the flat read, or the flat streak combination. You can maybe even do something like let's go ahead and go out of cover 3 again. Do something maybe like a zig. You could do a flat route zig. With play actions, I prefer zigs just because it gives you more time, and maybe slant square, and then the zig and the out complement each other. One's going to be open, the other one's going to be covered. So that's basically that play. To mix it up with the play action and stuff, the smash corners, you have 3 routes that are pretty good against getting up against man coverage, and I always put square on a drag, and I'll sometimes put triangle on a zone, or not on a zone, but on a streak to attack zone coverage. But first, this is what it looks like. The slot receiver's corner out, I have noticed, is a little better than the tight ends, but the tight ends is still effective. You just have to be able to make the correct read. So put square on that drag, and the 1.5 steps, and see the tight end gets open. I threw it a little bit before the cut, and the route by the halfback, it's still effective against man, but I feel like it gets open maybe only like 75-80% of the time. So you just have to look out for that. I use it more of a check down. He gets good separation there, but it's really more of a check down to me. And against zone coverage, that route by circle really helps X get open sometimes. Square helps R1 get open, and R1 is usually open by both X and square, so we're just going to run it. This one time I did forget to motion the receiver, but here we're going to look real quick. R1 actually helped circle get open on that play. So R1 comes in, and he kind of sucks in the flat guy, and I should have actually thrown it to R1 on this play, but I went ahead and threw it out to the wide receiver. I'm going to show you real quick how X can help circle get open as well. This route by circle is mostly to, you know, make them, be honest, play the flats. And you see he's just dropping with the tight end, so you just throw it out to circle. Here, I'll show you again really quick. So we put that guy on a purple, that slot corner, and so his main focus is on the tight end. You see he follows him up the field, and circle is just wide open in the flat. And we'll go one more against the cover 3, and with that safety in a yellow, there's a chance that the tight end might not be as open as usual, but we're going to go ahead and run it because circle is going to help him get open, and you just got to watch out for the safety. So just really quick, that short hitch route by circle, instead of the defender following the tight end, since he's a flat zone, he goes straight out to the, yep, there he is. He goes straight out to the flat zone, and that leaves X open underneath. And you also have the drag and R1, the running back, open. I'll just run it one more time just to show you those two checkdowns. So, so R1, and then you have square. So, again, it's all about making your reads against the defense. That covers all of those plays. We have two more passing plays. This strong flood, I just put triangle on a streak. This is a little better against zone, but it's still very effective against man. That tight end will always get that separation against man coverage. Sometimes the route by square gets wide open, but it's not as successful as it would be in like the formation that I run out of like the strong pistol strong, where he gets open all the time. But sometimes if everything's covered up, you can see him coming down the field. It helps if he's a fast wide receiver. If he wasn't fast, he might not have been open there, but he's just a good check down against both man and zone coverage. And here we have cover 3. So we go to that play, strong flood, and do that little move, the little motion. R1 complement to triangle to get open. Triangle actually gets open down the field if you wait for him, so he gets jammed there. Square comes open, and then triangle right there inside lead, the slot wide receiver. Square is a check down right there in the middle of the field with the in, and so I like to roll out on that play. It kind of forces them to learn to play a strong side of the field, and then that's when, if they're starting to make a setup to cover the right side heavily, you just hit them with that off tackle and just bust it open for a huge gain. And really quickly, this play, there's a few different setups you can do. I like to do something kind of like this. I like that curl is insurance with square against man coverage, because triangle does not always get great separation, but when he does, he gets a good 5 yards on his man. I like to streak X and put R1 on that halfback option out. So we're just going to run this against man coverage real quick. Let's see if triangle kind of gets separation, but could be a little better. So yeah, R1 usually gets pretty good separation as well if he goes out into the flat like that. The reason why I like the option route is because if it's man or zone, he will act accordingly. And then R1 or circle, if you're going against man coverage and you make the right throw, then you can get that. Hopefully he catches it, but yeah. And you know how curls work. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go against some random defenses real quick, just to show you the thought process behind selecting these plays. So the gun normal, wide receiver corners, and so you see, the right edge is kind of wide open. Maybe this is when you just want to hit them with the jet sweep just to let them know that it's there. It's good to do it early before they start trying to cover the right side of the field, and they're just going to be thinking about this all game, especially if you pull off a touchdown with it. So especially if it's early. This is one where I would go ahead and try. It's hard to tell if they're in main or zone. It looks like zone, but just to be safe, I would run the halfback slip screen rather than the flanker screen. And so going out here, you see it zone coverage, dump it off to your halfback, wide open, another touchdown. Here I would go ahead and run the halfback off tackle. You see how open the left side of the field is, so hopefully the blockers set up like we want them to. That time the tackle came in, but you see the left side of the field was pretty wide open. This one I would go ahead and run. You could run the strong flood out of this one if you want. Actually, you could do that the play action jet sweep. It looks pretty wide open. It looks like they might be in sort of a man coverage. So what you can do is actually put circle on a curl, which I don't normally like to do, but that's sort of like insurance for if they are in man coverage and they're not. I just feel like dumping it down to my halfback. And you see, it's all about reading the defense, seeing what they're in. This is one I'm going to run the flanker screen. It looks pretty wide open, and also that cornerback is backed off of square, so just in case they are in man coverage. It was a heavy blitz, so I just went straight to that curl. This one, they have a tight formation. Looks like a heavy blitz or some sort of zone. It's a blitz, so I just dump it out to the halfback and getting big gains. So yeah, this is a good midline read option. Yeah, just read the defense, make your reads on whichever play you pick. One thing I want to point out is both the midline and the inside zone read options, it gives you multiple running lanes rather than just the one or the two that most read option plays give you. But this is one where you could just do the inside zone read option. So he doesn't bite, and yeah, I shouldn't have spun there, but yeah, I realized I actually haven't been running the slot receiver motion. So I mean, it's not 100% necessary, but I really like to do it in games to make it look like we're running the same play every time. So you get the basic the gist of it. Let's run. Whoops, I didn't make any adjustments, but there we go. So yeah, you get the gist of it. Read the defense, read your opponent, make the proper reads on each play, and hopefully this helps you guys out. This scheme, that since I've figured this out, I have had no problems scoring on offense. I haven't turned the ball over. I have maybe had a couple punts in the past like 8 games. It's very effective, and the more you do it, the more you get used to it. So hopefully this helps you guys out. If it does, like this video, subscribe if you want to see more tips. I know the other two guys, Mr. 21215 and Strong Arm Playa, are planning on pushing more content once they get over their busy schedules, so stay tuned for more of that. And I'm going to try and get this other scheme I have figured out that's similar to this, but only 2 formations up within the next couple weeks. So just subscribe and then come check those out, and hopefully this helps you guys out.